Liam was an overworked officer drone, struggling to get a good night's sleep for almost 10 years. His job was stressful and draining, more toxic than any reality TV show you could imagine. But despite the chaos at work, the only thing keeping him going was his loving wife, Mika, and their daughter, Konami. One evening, after a long day at work, Liam came home exhausted. Mika greeted him with a warm smile, and the first thing she asked was about their daughter. She told Liam that Konami had spent the whole day begging for a dog. Apparently, Konami had seen her friend's dog, Ishiba, and couldn't stop thinking about how much she wanted one. Mika said that Konami had already gone to bed, but her request weighed on Liam's mind. Liam thought about it for a moment. Could they afford a dog right now? His job didn't exactly pay him enough to take on new expenses. But as he looked at his daughter peacefully sleeping, something changed. Maybe it would be worth it. If getting a dog would make Konami happy, maybe it was worth taking on a few extra shifts at work. He made up his mind. He'd get her a dog. The next day, Liam surprised Mika by taking Konami to a pet shop. Konami's face lit up with pure joy when she saw the puppies. She was ecstatic, and Mika was honestly surprised Liam had agreed to get a dog. She knew how much work it would add to their already chaotic life. But Liam, with his tired smile, told her it would be worth it. He was determined to keep his family happy, no matter what. But soon, Liam would find out just how wrong he was about being able to juggle it all. The very next day at work, his boss yelled at him for not delivering a report on time. Liam tried to explain that he had sent the report on Thursday, but the boss was at a club with some friends and hadn't seen it. But, of course, the boss still found a way to blame Liam for the mistake. Liam's life at work was a constant battle. His boss was irresponsible, and his subordinates didn't respect him. They took credit for his hard work and blamed him for things that weren't his fault. It felt like walking through an active minefield every single day. But at least when he went home, he could count on seeing his wife and daughter. They always managed to lift his spirits, no matter how rough the day had been. However, everything would take an unexpected turn one day. While Liam was on the train to work, he got a message from his friend, Nita. Nita was excited about a new Gundam model that had just come out and asked Liam to help him buy it. Liam chuckled at how much Nita loved his Gundams, but since they were friends, he agreed to help him out. Once he got off the train, Liam tried to find the store, but he wasn't familiar with the area. After walking around, trying to find a landmark, his eyes suddenly fell on something that made his heart skip a beat. He spotted his wife, Mika, on a date with a random guy. Liam couldn't believe his eyes. Mika had told him earlier that she was taking Konami to sword practice. But here she was, clearly on a date with someone else. That evening, Liam came home from work and asked Mika what she had done that day. She lied, saying that she had only dropped Konami off at sword practice. Liam was about to confront her about what he had seen, but then he stopped. He didn't want to ruin their happy family life. He didn't want to believe it. He told himself that he must have misunderstood. After all, there's no way Mika would cheat on him. To clear his mind, Liam decided to take a break. He tried to put his computer on standby, but it wasn't working. He had no choice but to turn it off completely. He left the room to gather his thoughts, but deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Liam decided to take a walk through the city, hoping to clear his mind after everything that had been happening. He wandered over to the same spot where he had seen Mika on a date the day before. His heart skipped a beat when he saw that she wasn't there. A sense of relief washed over him, but it was short-lived. As he walked past a cafe, he heard Mika talking on the phone. He stopped in his tracks and listened carefully, only to hear her speaking to the man he suspected was her affair partner. What made it worse was that Konami was with her. His worst fears were becoming a reality. Liam tried to stay calm, telling himself that the man might just be a close friend, maybe even a family friend. But then he heard Konami call the man Papa. That was it. His world came crashing down. He didn't know what to think anymore. He had been trying so hard to believe that everything was fine, but now there was no denying it. His wife, the one person he trusted, had been lying to him all along. With a heavy heart, Liam went back to work. He tried to convince himself that maybe he had misunderstood. Perhaps the man really was just a friend. Maybe Konami was confused. But deep down, he knew the truth. Still, He couldn't shake the feeling that everything was falling apart. At work, things only got worse. His boss stormed over to him, furious that Liam hadn't completed a task on time. Liam explained that he had been waiting for his computer to turn on. It had been having trouble with the standby mode. But the boss wasn't having it. He yelled at Liam, saying he should skip breaks if his computer wasn't working. The whole situation felt unfair, but Liam just nodded, trying to keep his head down. The last thing he needed was more trouble. Then, as if things weren't bad enough, Liam got a call from Mika. Her voice trembled as she told him that Konami had been in a horrible accident and was in the hospital. Liam's heart dropped. Without wasting a second, he rushed to the hospital, praying that his daughter would be okay. When he arrived, he asked Mika where Konami was, and she told him she was already in surgery. The doctor came out, asking if they were Konami's parents. Both of them nodded, and the doctor explained that they needed one of them to donate blood to Konami. Liam said he was AB positive, but Mika was O negative. The doctor explained that Konami was also O negative, so Mika's blood would be a match. As the surgery went on, Liam sat in the waiting room, trying to process everything. He pulled out his phone and started Googling. What he found shocked him. It was physically impossible for Konami to have an O-negative blood type if Liam was AB positive. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. Konami wasn't really his daughter. Liam couldn't take it anymore. He went to Mika and demanded to know the truth. He asked her if Konami was really his daughter. But instead of answering, Mika turned the tables on him. She accused him of not caring about their family, of always being absent because of his job. She said he was worthless because he never got promotions or raises and couldn't give her the life she wanted. She lashed out, telling him that she had to raise Konami on her own, ignoring the fact that Konami wasn't even his child. Liam couldn't believe what he was hearing. He tried to explain that he worked long hours to provide for them, but Mika didn't want to hear it. She told him that he had never been a part of the family and that she and Konami were leaving. When Liam asked where they would go, Mika ignored him and went to Konami's room to pack her things. Desperation filled Liam as he tried to stop her, but she pulled away from him. He begged her not to leave, but then Konami spoke up, telling him that she liked her other father better. That was the final blow. All hope left Liam, and he was crushed. The next day, Liam showed up to work, still reeling from the events of the night before. His heart was heavy, but things were about to get worse. His boss called him over and accused him of embezzling company funds. Liam denied it, but his boss showed him the evidence. 50 million yen had been transferred to a random account, and the logs showed it came from Liam's computer. With no way to explain it, Liam was fired on the spot. With no job, Mika used this as an excuse to file for divorce. She even sued him for child support, despite the fact that Konami wasn't his daughter. To avoid jail time for the embezzlement charges, Liam had no choice but to agree to pay back the 50 million yen. He was forced to take a job as a construction worker, knowing that he'd never be able to pay it all off in his lifetime. His life was falling apart, and the future seemed bleak. In the midst of his despair, Nida sent him a message about the latest Gundam episode. Liam almost replied, saying he would love to watch it with him. But then he stopped. He didn't want Nida to know how far his life had fallen. Instead, he deleted the message, trying to convince himself that everything would get better if he just worked hard enough. But as Liam sat down to eat lunch, he coughed up some blood. It was then that he realized the truth. Lung cancer was coming for him. His body was betraying him, just like everything else in his life. That night, Liam struggled to sleep as his coughing grew worse. Blood stained his breath, and he could barely breathe. The worst part, he couldn't afford medical treatment. He had no choice but to lie in his bed, waiting for death to claim him. As the darkness closed in, something unexpected happened. A light appeared above him, glowing bright and warm. It wasn't just light, it was showing him visions. The first vision shocked him to his core. It was his boss who had embezzled the 50 million yen from Liam's computer. And to make things worse, the same boss had been the one Mika was cheating on him with. All the things Mika had said about feeling neglected? A lie. She had always seen Liam as nothing more than a tool, someone to milk for his money. In fact, she had been part of the plan to frame him for the embezzlement. Liam couldn't believe what he was seeing. His heart shattered into pieces. He wanted to deny it, to tell himself it wasn't true, but the evidence in front of him was undeniable. Just then, a mysterious voice spoke, confirming that everything Liam saw was true. The man asked him if he was really going to let those people get away with such terrible actions. Liam, broken and filled with rage, reached his limit. He swore he would make them pay, no matter the cost. The man, clearly pleased by Liam's anger, said he was glad he decided to visit. Liam, still confused, asked the man who he was and why he was there. The man explained that he had taken an interest in Liam because he was a good person. But Liam, bitter from all the pain he had endured, wasn't impressed. He told the man that living a good life had only left him with nothing. If he could go back, he would have lived selfishly, putting himself first. The man smiled, pleased with Liam's response. He told Liam that he had the chance to go to another world, a world where he could start fresh. Liam didn't know if he was hallucinating from his sickness or if this was real, but he didn't care. He wanted to make the most of this opportunity. He remembered his friend Nita mentioning something about another world and a Gundam world. That was it. He would choose the Gundam world. The world was a mix of sci-fi and magic, a place dominated by royals and nobles. Liam thought he might end up as a lowly peasant, but the man, liking Liam's determination, decided to reincarnate him as the son of Mac, a ruler of a planet. It would give him a much better chance at life than his current one. With his final breath, Liam signed the iSky contract, and just like that, his soul was sent to a new world, a world full of endless possibilities. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more amazing content coming your way. You won't want to miss what's next.